Hello, I'm IBX Toycat, and around about a month ago, I uploaded a video where I showed off all of the new mobs which came with T19, but with all the texture packs enabled, so you could see stuff like zebras, dinosaurs, robot horses, and even like weird wither skeletons and witches, for instance, and a lot of people really enjoyed that video, so I figured what I would do is show off the final mob I couldn't show off at the time, which is the wither boss. Of course, the wither boss destroys everything else, so I've had to give it its own little wither cube right here, but I figured as well as just showing off the wither boss, which I will of course do, I figured while I was here anyway, I could show off a bunch of the new blocks, so stained clay, beacons, coal blocks, redstone blocks, etc., as well as a few of the new items like the fireworks, etc., and it'd be a cool way to see if there's anything really crazy, because in the last update they did actually change the daylight sensor in a few texture packs, and I figured maybe there'd be some other really cool hidden gems in there, and that's what we're looking for today. So please do like the video if you like it. These videos take a while to make, because obviously there's a lot of, looking around, there's a lot of doing the editing, and it'd be very much appreciated. But with that said, let's let the wither blow up, and let's go to our first texture pack, which, because we're going in alphabetical order, will probably be the candy texture pack. Let's see what happens. So here we are with the Candyland texture pack, which is first alphabetically according to the game, and as you can see, that wither health bar is the first thing you notice. It's now a big candy stick, and let's see what the wither itself looks like. So in here, okay, the wither looks actually kind of the same, just with big candy lines going across it, and these wither skulls, they're a little easier to see, but besides that, the wither's not really too exciting here. I guess he's still meant to be terrifying regardless of the circumstances there, so let's leave him alone, and let's look at these new blocks. So stained clay looks like it's, I can't even tell what this is here, but stained clay looks very interesting. Black coal blocks seem to be licorice, and redstone blocks are redstone licorice. Beacon blocks have a lot of this weird, kind of texture on them, and the beacon itself is very interesting to look at. Like, it looks like it's made out of soda maybe, or I don't even know. But yeah, it's kind of exciting there. So redstone, the daylight sensor. This is a really fun block to look at because it's just multicolored for no real reason. Redstone comparator, just redstone torches on a piece of biscuit, maybe this is meant to be a biscuit with some redstone on it, and then the hoppers are made out of chocolate, because of course they are. So finally we've got the droppers over here, and they're fridges maybe, I'm not sure, and then we've got the rail, which is something I've never seen before actually at the candy texture pack. You can see it looks very, very wacky now. And the activator rail in particular, it's just this green and white little strip on the ground, and that's kind of cool. So minecarts TNT look fairly reasonable, and so do minecarts with hoppers. It's just chocolate inside a big candy cart, and what's not logical about that? So with a skeleton skulls, you can see there looking fine, and then the horse armor, it's just, kind of candy horse armor. Neverstar is actually a star. Like, look at that texture right there. That's a really cool one. And firework rockets, let's fire them off and let's see. Oh, I guess fireworks are the same in all texture packs, so there's that, I guess, and yeah, let's move on to whatever we have next then, which will probably be the cartoon texture pack. I was right about it being the cartoon texture pack, and as you can see as we load in here, cartoon texture pack's a really nice texture pack to look at. It just gives everything these really nice rounded edges, and I like that a lot. And if you look at the wither, he's got he's got one kind of happy face and two very, very sad faces, it seems, which is very fitting, I guess. Split personality wither. And then finally, moving on to the stained clay here, you can see the stained clay looks a lot like wool does. Like, the way it breaks, the way it looks in general, it's very woolish, and there's something kind of weird about that. Of course, the heavy and the light pressure plates, they're just kind of gold blocks and iron blocks. Coal blocks and redstone blocks look really nice. Like, I guess this is all mineral blocks, but look at that texture there. You can see it on the gold too, but it's a really, really nice texture. I like that a lot. It really works with this redstone block because it has the bigger signal coming out there. And then finally, beacons over here. The beacon block itself is, kind of the same, but it's gold instead of diamond. And as far as the actual beam goes, it's, kind of standard. Looks a lot like the other one. Maybe they don't change too much either, but yeah, that's kind of strange. Daylight sensor's just a big blue slab for some reason. The redstone comparator looks a lot fancier, like it actually has inputs on the side, so it makes more sense here. Hoppers are green because, green hoppers, why not, right? Droppers look a bit like furnaces, and then minecarts with, the different minecarts. TNT, particularly cool. Wither skulls are horrifying. Jesus, I didn't see what these looked like till just now. But look at these things. And then we've also got, minecart TNT, minecart hopper, and the activator rail just here. So we'll give one more look at the firework rockets, see if they are different in different texture packs. It does not look like they are. So yeah, let's move on to the next texture pack then. This one seems to be a pretty good texture pack for a lot of stuff. Like, it just seems it changes the colours of stuff. Like, why does stained clay need to be woolish? Why does the wither have to be 1/3 happy, 2/3 sad? I guess we'll never truly know. But yeah, let's move on to the next texture pack and hope we don't die there. Next up, we are in the City texture pack, and the City texture pack has one thing in particular I need to check out first, and that's the daylight sensor. And as you can see, it does look a lot more like, you know, a solar set panel now, which is kind of cool. That was one thing they mentioned in the changelog for TE20, and I think it's interesting that it does look quite a bit like a solar panel. But yeah, let's move on to the Wither, the very key part. I don't want to get hit by him, but oh, as you can see here, absolutely terrifying. Look at those skulls. A lot like the skull from the previous texture pack, actually. And here's the skull on the ground. Very, very scary. Gonna make you scared of those Wither skeletons, and especially if they're heads. So, yeah, there is that. As you can see, the stained clay, it all kind of has a similar texture pack to make it look very gravelly. It is, you know, nice because you can make really multicolored buildings of this, which is nice, I guess. But, you know, it's not stained clay per se, but I guess you weren't really expecting it to be. So, redstone blocks look crazy cool. I mean, the texture's weird, but it stands out very clearly, especially against the redstone red stained clay there. And the coal block looks kind of like black wood, to be totally honest with you. It's slightly strange in that way. Finally, the beacon is a very thick beam. It's probably thicker than the other ones. The block looks just about the same, just with fancier glass, if you ask me. And as far as, you know, everything around it, it just seems pretty normal. The beam's probably more noticeable here than nub texture packs, because if you look at the colours, it's just very noticeable because it's like diamondy. Finally, moving on to the redstone comparator, very futuristic also. The hoppers are just a little bit more really, I guess. And then we've got the droppers over here, which are very, very, like, look at all those colours up there. That's actually kind of a cool texture. So, then we have, over here, some minecart TNT, which is, I know this is just TNT in general I'm talking about, but this still looks kind of crazy just here. Minecraft hoppers are how you expect them, and activator rails have this really cool thing underneath them, which, I don't know, I like this one probably the best of all the activator rails. Not that that's saying too much, but then we have the Nether Star just here, which is a really weird kind of iron cross type deal. We've also got all different types of horse armor. We've got 2 fire rockets, which these look like full-on rockets, and it's a pretty nice texture pack in general. So we're going to have to eat one of these carrots so we don't die, and let's move on to the next texture pack. Okay, so we're here with the Fantasy texture pack, and the Fantasy texture pack is probably one of my favourite ones, so I'm really excited to see the Wither here as well as other stuff. Let's give him a look. So, as you can see, oh wow, that is a scary Wither in the Fantasy texture pack. Those 3 skulls are very, very terrifying, definitely more so than the original. And yeah, the Wither's something you should probably fear in this texture pack, and I guess in all texture packs. So, stained clay, it looks like clayish, I guess a little bit. It's still got that kind of stony texture, so if you wanted to, you can make a building, but I think it's somewhere between stone and clay, which is kind of nice. So, yeah, definitely a big fan of the clay. It's a slightly strange texture, like it looks like there's a big kind of almost Pikachu-like picture on there, but besides that, that is all just fine. The beacon in particular interests me here because there's a lot of gold on the glass, but the beacon itself looks kind of normal. But if you look here, this is a really nice looking beacon. Like this definitely shows off a sign of wealth, and like I have all the gold in the world. The redstone block does a similar thing. Like just look how fancy this block is. Coal block kind of looks like the last texture pack. It's just kind of blackish wood. It's very dull, especially when you look at the redstone block. And then the 2 pressure plates on the ground here. Again, lots of gold around them. That's something about this texture pack I didn't notice till recently. It just has so much gold on it. So, again, with the daylight sensor, a lot of gold, as well as the whole solar panel look type deal. Redstone comparator, a very nice looking block. Redstone seems to look very nice in this texture pack. And then the hopper, exactly the same, but with a nice gold bit around the rim. Just to prove the point about gold I was making. So, droppers look very, very fancy and regal. And I like that a lot, definitely. The Wither health bar, by the way, it's just, you know, kind of standard. I didn't mention that too much, but that's there. The Wither skeleton skulls, very, like, futuristic if you ask me, or maybe a bit too fancy, because they have, like, a bit of iron chain armor on their head for some reason. As well as that, though, we have minecart TNT and hopper. As you can expect, it's TNT, but in a minecart, and a hopper, but in a minecart. Very golden minecarts in general. And then the activator rail, again, because it loves to prove my point. It has lots of gold all over it. So, firework rockets looking pretty standard. We'll just check one more time, because we've checked a few times, but it looks like, yeah, fireworks are the same across everything. The Nether Star is this kind of really nice, it's definitely a medieval type feel there. And then the horse armors, they're all looking pretty good too. So, yeah, as far as textures go, I really like this texture packs update. I especially like that redstone block and the beacon in general because of the gold blocks. But as far as new stuff goes, the Wither's terrifying and the hoppers are really cool actually. So yeah, let's move on to what I believe will be the festive mashup pack if the game knows its alphabetical ordering. Okay, so we're here with the festive texture pack slash mashup pack. It's not really quite so useful anymore now. Christmas is 11 months away, but it is still kind of looking cool. So this is the Wither, as you can see, is wearing a Santa hat on one side and party hats on the other two. I think that's a really good look for the Wither, and the health bar as well. Looks kind of fancy, looks kind of nice. I like that quite a bit. So, as well as just the Wither looking all strange with his party hats and his Santa hat, we've got Stained Clay, which this is probably the best stained clay texture yet, because it's just almost solid that color. So just solid orange or solid red. I can see some amazing like pixel arty stuff being done with this because it's pure color. It's not, there's no texture on there stopping it. Like if you look at my wolf, for instance, like that's meant to be a sheep, but it's got loads of colors all over it. This is just smooth color, and I like that a lot. So as well as this, we have, of course, we have the coal block over here, which is, as you can see, it's not too exciting. Redstone block, it's got a Santa stocking on it. Not really too exciting. It fits, and it's colourful, but not really too much else besides that. The beacon has a lot of colours and stuff going on here, as you can see. Kind of like some Santa lights and stuff. And I like the beacon look in general, but it's not too amazing, it's not amazingly visible. And one thing I will say, this isn't new or anything, but the bedrock here looks crazy. So, as well as this, we have the hoppers, which are almost a present-like look. They're very, very unique here. We have the daylight sensor, which is 4 little like sensors right here instead of 9. We have the redstone comparator, which seems to be brown, and we have the dropper over here, which is basically a fireplace with a couple stockings on it, which is kind of nice, I guess. Finally, we've got the Wither skeleton skull, which appears to be wearing a Santa hat. We've got the activator rail, which is very green and festive, like all the other rails, and we've got the minecart with TNT, the minecart hoppers, which are just presents. Except TNT is the worst present to get for anyone, just as a heads up. And yeah, it's looking nice and general. So as far as this stuff goes, the Never Star is a snowflake. I like that a lot. But, this texture pack isn't one to use outside of Christmas, I don't think. Like, although the Wither does look really cool, I don't think that's going to work too much outside Christmas, as I said. So, yeah, good texture pack, but maybe give it another 6 months or so. Or I guess 11 months until you give it a try. So, let's move on to the next texture pack. Okay, so the next texture pack is the Halloween texture pack, and this is one I'm excited about because, of course, the Wither boss being the scary thing it is, seeing this in the Halloween texture pack is going to be fun. And also, the game can't really do alphabets because Halloween is apparently after all the other ones, whatever. So, oh my jeez, that is a very scary Wither right there, as you can see. Just pure red, a hellish demon. Very, very unique. I'm glad they gave the Wither a unique skin for this texture pack. It definitely fits quite well, if you ask me. So, let's see it go on character, we survive. This is what the stained clay looks like. As you can see, it's colourful. It's got the colours going on there. The only real difference here, besides, the weird kind of, like, scaly texture on it, is hardened clay is grey in this for some reason. I'm not sure what the reasoning is, but, I'll take it, I guess. We've got the we've got the coal block here, which has a bat on it, which I think is a kind of nice theme thing. This is definitely the nicest looking coal block, just because it actually has, like, a real texture to it. And then we've got the redstone block here, which is kind of hellish, kind of stands out, but nowhere near as much as the other. The beacon over here, as you can see, it's probably one of the more unique ones. It stands out kind of well against the orange background. For some reason, the sky is orange in the Halloween texture pack. Never really did understand that, but we also have the 2 new pressure plates on the ground here, one with kind of this infinite symbol on it, or maybe it's DNA, and then one that's just, it's kind of bland. We've got the daylight sensor here, which is orange, because of course the sky is orange, and logic and stuff apparently. Got the redstone comparator just here, which I don't know, redstone's not really too spooky in my opinion. Hoppers just kind of look more cartoony than normal. The droppers, they have faces now, and they look like they're, leaking goo. It's kind of a scary look they've got going on there. I'm kind of scared to receive stuff from that. The Wither skeleton skull, as you can see, as you could see over there, kind of a scary thing still. We've also got the minecart TNT, the minecart hoppers, all looking kind of standard. Let's place down this activator rail, and as you can see, it's spooky enough. I wouldn't say the redstone or rails are really too spooky. Finally, we've got the firework rockets, as you can see, looking just fine as they hit the sky, and we've got the Never Star, which is a really nice texture for it, as well as some not so spooky but kind of strange horse armor. So yeah, it's an okay texture pack. The Wither is terrifying. I'm glad they got that down. Just look at that one more time. But everything else, nothing's too amazing besides the coal block. So moving on to the next texture pack, which is the Halo mashup pack. Okay, so this is the Halo mashup pack, and I'm excited about this one. How do you have a Halo-themed Wither? I really want to see. Okay, so this is the Wither boss just over here. As you can see, I don't think that's... I imagine that's meant to be a Halo beast, but it has two just kind of big holes where two of its head should be, and that is kind of scary to me. These red stained clay, etc., or this stained clay, I should say, it looks a lot like previous texture packs. It's not really too unique. I guess they just copy-pasted it. It doesn't need to be unique, I guess. Stained clay doesn't fit in with the Halo universe too well. The redstone blocks here, these definitely look futuristic. You could probably use these to make barrels or something. Like, these definitely work in quite well. And the pressure plates, they also have a similar thing where this gold pressure plate could really be used to make a cool door for something. Finally, the beacon definitely fits the theme, and it's definitely fairly easy to see. And the cool thing about the beacon is it looks like it. Obviously it doesn't, but it looks like it goes all the way to the top of that, which means it looks like it's just hooking into the big halo going around the planet, which is really cool in my opinion. So, we've also got the daylight sensor and the redstone comparator here, so daylight sensor, very unique to say the least. Also, the redstone comparator, it's purple, because purple for some reason. I don't see people doing redstone stuff in the Halo Mashup pack, but if you do, I guess it looks nice because it's purple. Like, it fits in quite well, but strangely. The hopper looks a lot like the other texture packs, just kind of the grey, bland, put stuff in there, it comes out the other side type deal. And then we've got the dropper over here, which is, again, like the regular texture pack, but it's got this nice little spin on it. The Wither Skull, finally, as you can see here. And then we've also got the new minecarts. So the rails here look really, really crazy. I haven't really seen that before. But as you can see, the TNT and stuff, it doesn't look too insane. It's just kind of bland minecarts. So this texture pack, it's great for if you're playing a Halo type deal, and I bet this is some monster in the Halo universe. Everyone's yelling at me. But from what I can tell, this is just a fairly cool little texture pack right here. So we're going to move on to the next one now, which I believe is going to be the Mass Effect one. Okay, so we're in the Mass Effect Mashup pack, and this is the real test of faith, because the Mass Effect Mashup pack used to be the worst texture pack ever, because it just didn't have new mobs. It had a lot of stuff missing, but they fixed that recently, and will they have gone a step beyond that with the Wither? So as you can see, the Wither has just one head here, which is an interesting spin, I think, on the main one, because it looks like he multiplies out his shoulders now. But yeah, that's a really interesting look on the Wither right there. I think it's a unique fight at the very least, and if you look at the health bar, this works out quite nicely too. I really like this quite a bit, actually, the way this fight would go. But we've also got the red stained clay, the orange stained clay, etc. The stained clay is looking really great. You could do some futuristic stuff with that. Of course, it doesn't work as stained clay, and if you look at the walls over in my Sheeb over there, he doesn't look like a Sheeb either, nor does that look like a PS4 controller. But, I guess pixel art is something that has to suffer here. So, pixel art, not too possible. Weird futuristic stuff, very possible. Redstone blocks, for some reason, are blue. Coal blocks are still black, which is nice. And the beacon block over here looks a lot like a regular beacon, but it does have this futuristic kind of glass look to it. So, besides that, we've got the daylight sensor over here, we've got the redstone comparator, we've got the hopper, the dropper, oh, the dropper has like half a face, we've got the wither skeleton skull, which, as you can see, doesn't really fit the main wither boss itself. Like, it looks like they're entirely different things, but that's whatever that is, I guess. And then we've also got the the TNT minecart and the hopper minecarts, and I really like these TNT minecarts, actually. I feel like this is a really, futuristic way to deliver weapons, at least in my opinion. Activated rail looks a lot like everything else, and the Nether Star, it looks a lot like the default too. So, there's quite a few things kind of missing here, but it is still quite a nice texture pack. It's not as far behind as it used to be. And let's try and move on to another texture pack that's not a mashup pack, because we've done like 3 in a row now. Now we have the natural texture pack, which I believe was the second texture pack to come to Minecraft on the Xbox. And basically, the cool thing that I can see straight away is that the big bar for the Wither is green, but the text is purple. And that is a really nice contrast. And if we look at the Wither itself, he is incredibly terrifying, just to, kind of fit the natural theme, because in the real world, Wither's terrifying too. Or something like that. This clay, again, looks a lot like everything else we've seen. Definitely useful for pixel art, as you can see up there. That pixel art is just fine too. It's definitely useful for pixel art. It's definitely nice in that regard, and I think stained clay is pretty good. So hardened clay, slightly different changed color again, and then coal blocks, redstone blocks. Redstone blocks, very nice. Coal blocks, kind of bland, but I guess that's what they keep on going for. We've got the gold and the iron pressure plates looking just fine, looking really shiny. In fact, I like these a lot. And we've got the beacon being a slightly different blue, slightly more recognisable blue if you ask me, but that's kind of nice there. So you can see this beacon block has a really nice texture to it that kind of matches the Wither Star, like in the way it goes, and I like that a lot, like the slow fading of that texture. it's really nice. I like it quite a bit. And we've also got the redstone stuff. So we've got the redstone daylight sensor. I like this quite a bit. The redstone comparator has this really nice glow to it. I think Redstone General seems to be really good, this texture pack. And then we've also got the hoppers just over here, which are looking just fine. We've got the dropper over here, which is slightly confusing, to say the least. With Skeleton Skull, which is terrifying. The activator rails and all the new minecarts and stuff, they're looking slightly okay. Like, I guess they've just got this middle red spike going down the middle. I guess it's quite easy to see, especially compared to the other stuff. And then, yeah, that's everything to see from here. So the Nether Star looks a lot like the original. The horse armor definitely looks more natural than it normally does. And the fireworks, they're looking just okay too. So I think this is a good texture pack. They definitely improved with the new stuff, but there's nothing mind-blowing here besides the fact that the wither text shows up like that. So if you want to do my name tag wither glitch from yesterday, I think this would be a good texture pack to do it on, because you get a nice blue bar up there rather than a purple bar. That's just my opinion, but let's move on to the next texture pack. Next, we have the plastic texture pack, which is a nice low-resolution texture pack, but will the wither be low-res? Or will they take advantage of something weird? As you can see, the wither here is... it's not very exciting, it's just the main wither, regular wither textures, but it looks like the big difference, and I think we're actually going to die here if we're not careful. Yeah, we're going to die. It's going to be awkward. Okay, so we're here with the plastic texture pack, the super low resolution texture pack. This man's just make everything so much more simple. Let's see what it does to the wither. Will it just be a simple wither, or will it be something a bit more complex? Looking over here, you can see it seems to be just, you know, a low resolution wither, a really easy to look at wither, and I guess if that's what you want, if you want a nice easy to look at wither, that's what this delivers. However, as far as like uniqueness goes, it's not unique at all. It's just the exact same wither, just in slightly more blocky colours. So I'm not amazed by the wither. The wither bar is this really odd, like hardened clay colour, which I don't understand. And I guess maybe that's meant to fit the aesthetic of the texture pack, but it's not something I like too much personally. If you look over here, we have red stained clay, orange stained clay, etc. And if you look at these textures, they're all really smooth, all really great. So I think, again, great for some pixel art, because it's you know, it's so smooth, so solid. You could do some really great stuff with this pixel art stuff, I'm sure. So the coal block actually looks kind of nice in this texture pack. The redstone block looks like a mushroom block for some reason, and the beacon, as you can see, it's not too cartoony. It is what it is. It's a beacon. Finally, we've got the daylight sensor over here. And we've got the redstone comparator, the hopper, the dropper. There's not too much to say about these four things just here. Like, this in particular, I kind of like this. Like, the redstone in this texture pack, I bet is kind of great. Like, you can see over here. The redstone, it's nice and easy to look at. Like, if you want some really simple to look at redstone, it's just either on or it's off. There's not really too much, you know, hard middle ground there. And that's something good about this, especially if you look at the activator rails. But as far as a good all-round texture pack goes, I don't think this really comes close. Like, if you just look at everything, it's easy to look at, and that's nice, but it's not great to look at. So, yeah, let's move on to the next texture pack, which might be the final one, and it's, I believe, the Skyrim Mashup pack. Okay, so now we're in Minecraft Skyrim edition, and we're going to be showing you the second to last texture pack, which is the Skyrim one. So I'm reckoning this will probably be a dragon. Actually, it can't be a dragon. I'm wondering what the wither will be. It's going to be something Skyrim related, and as you can see just here, it's, oh geez, it's an ice monster. So I actually really like the look of this wither. I'll go in there one more time to show you it again. As you can see, it's really icy. It's got this very unique medieval kind of Skyrim feel, and I like that a lot about that. Like, a lot of this texture pack is just, you know, natural fantasy times two, but that wither is definitely unique as, you know, all hell. And if you look at the health bar below him, that's a nice health bar too. Like, it really blends in a lot better than purple or like bright green or like hardened clay color, and I like that quite a bit. So looking at the stained clay just here, The texture is workable, kind of like the regular one. It's got this slightly strange look to it. I guess that's just to differentiate it from the other texture packs, and I'm fine with that. I think the stained clay is just okay. The iron and the gold pressure plates, gold is kind of okay. Iron doesn't look like iron, so it's going to be difficult to tell what this is for a lot of people. The coal block looking kind of bland like usual, and the redstone block is barely even red. Like, it's more gold than it is red. You could tell, but it's still kind of strange. I do like the texture a lot, even in spite of that, but it just feels like a weird decision to make it more gold than red. Then, looking at the beacon, we have a very, very much changed beacon, and of course, a very nice, easy to see beacon, which is nice. So, that's the beacon block just over here. Looks very strange, especially if you look at all this stuff. And, yeah, that's the beacon right there. So, going over to the redstone side of things, the daylight sensor, I guess it's meant to be medieval type deal, and they didn't have daylight sensors, so it's just a big box. We got the redstone comparator, which, by the way, is really, like, visually glitchy. If you look here, like, it glitches up there. But yeah, if you look on the redstone comparator, it's kind of nice to look at. It works. And we've also got the the hopper just over here. Well, we'll provide diamond horse armor. The dropper actually looks kind of nice. I think it's a weird face, unlike its other faces. But, you know, if you want to have some redstone stuff going on, I'm sure that works just fine. The wither skeleton skull doesn't fit with the wither in the slightest. If you look at the wither and then you look at the skull, a little bit of a difference there. Not sure what that's all about. And we've also got the, of course, we've got the minecarts of TNT. I like those quite a bit. The minecarts hoppers, you know, it's just a hopper and a minecart. Nothing too exciting there. And finally, the activator rail. For some reason, it's just, you know, rail, but with blue outlines. Because medieval times. I don't get it personally, but that's that. So firework rockets do work just the same. And Nether Stars have this really cool orb to them. I definitely like this Nether Star, probably the best out of all of them I've seen so far. So if there's a couple of constellations here, the Wither looks great. The Wither Star you get for killing him looks great. And a lot of other stuff is okay. So that's the Skyrim texture pack. If you already have it, it might be worth a play if you want to kill the Wither that way. Otherwise, let's move on to the final texture pack. And this time it's real, the Steampunk texture pack. So let's go. Okay, so I am here in the final texture pack to show you what the Wither looks like with the Steampunk texture pack. So, my first impression, just looking at it for the last 5 seconds, you can see that Wither health bar is really nice, like it's a full-on blood bar. And if you look at the buzz itself, oh my, wow, that fits in the texture pack so well. I am a big fan of that Wither, like, that is definitely a scary, kind of steampunky Wither. I definitely like that a lot. So that's the Wither right there. We'll go back in later if we can, because we'll die if we don't. But if we look around here, you can see some red stained clay, all the other stained clay in general. Steampunk isn't the word I'd use to describe it, but it is all kind of acceptable. Using that same kind of generic texture we've seen quite a few times. We've also got the coal block, not looking amazing. The redstone block, definitely looking amazing. And the beacon having this really cool circular glass effect on it, which is really, really great. I love this beacon block quite a bit. And I like glass in general, I'd say. So, we've also got the daylight sensor over here. We've got the redstone comparator, which is slightly unique to say the least. We've got some hoppers over here, some droppers over here, and then the Wither skeleton skull, which as you can see has like this iron or gold iron kind of like effect on it, which is really nice. So the activator rail, it's definitely distinguished from the rest of the rails. You can see it's got this big kind of I don't want to call it like a big conveying belt, not a conveyor belt, like a chain going around it. I don't know. I can see how that works. You've got the redstone, the minecart TNT, sorry, looking very great. Also, I definitely like the look of that quite a bit. Firework rockets are these really cool rockets like this. They're all glitchy for some reason, like they're going left and right the whole time. But they do work just fine. And the Nether Star is a cog, which I really like the idea of that, because you use the Nether Star to create the beacon block, of course, and the fact that it's a cog just works so well. So I like that quite a bit. So we've got the iron horse armor, gold horse armor and diamond horse armor. Not really too much difference there. They're all kind of, the same color. And if you look at all three of these now without me scrolling over them, it's difficult to tell which one is which. So finally, let's give you one more look at the Wither for the final texture pack. And as you can see, he is terrifying. I like this Wither a lot. So this is the end of the video. It took just over 35 minutes to record. So please do like it if you do like it. Share it if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I do stuff like this all the time, and if you play Minecraft console, I'm sure you'll love it around here. So, yeah, I'm going to go edit this video now. It'll take me quite a bit. I thank you for everyone who watched it, and I'll see you all in the next video.